It's week 43 of A Year of Wisdom, and we have some catching up to do. Let's get to reading. Day 290 and 291. Job 21, 22, 23, and 24. Then Eov responded, "Listen carefully to my words. Let this be the comfort you give me. Bear with me as I speak, then after I've spoken, you can go on mocking. As for me, is my complaint merely to other people? Don't I have grounds for being short-tempered? Look at me and be appalled. Cover your mouth with your hand. Whenever I recall it, I'm in shock. My whole body shudders. Why do the wicked go on living, grow old, and keep increasing in their power? They see their children settled with them, their posterity assured. Their houses are safe with nothing to fear. God's rod is not on them. Their bulls are fertile without fail. Their cows get pregnant and don't miscarry. They produce flocks of babies, and their children dance around. They sing with tambourines and lyres and rejoice to the sound of the pipe. They spend their days in prosperity and go down to the grave in peace. Yet to God they say, 'Leave us alone. We don't want to know about your ways. What is Shaddai that we should serve him? What do we gain if we pray to him? Isn't their prosperity already theirs? The plans of the wicked are far from me. How often is the lamp of the wicked put out? How often does their calamity come upon them? How often does God deal out pain in his anger to make them like straw in the wind, like chaff carried off by a storm? God lays up for their children punishment for their iniquity. He should lay it on the wicked themselves so that they can feel it. Let their own eyes see their destruction and themselves drink the wrath of Shaddai. What joy can they have in their family after them, given that their months are numbered? Can anyone teach God knowledge? After all, he judges those who are on high. One person dies in his full strength, completely at ease and content. His pails are full of milk, and the marrow in his bones is moist. Another dies with embittered heart, never having tasted happiness. They lie down alike in the dust, and the worm covers them both. Look, I know what you're thinking, and your plans to do me wrong. You ask, where's the great man's house? Where's the tent where the wicked once lived? Haven't you ever questioned travelers? Don't you accept their testimony? That the evil man is saved on the day of disaster, rescued on the day of wrath? So who will comfort him with his ways? Who will repay him for what he has done? For he's carried off to the grave. People keep watch over his tomb. The clods of the valley are sweet to him, so everyone follows his example. Just as before him were countless others. Why offer me such meaningless comfort? Of your answers, only the perfidy remains. Next, Eliphaz the Taimani replied, Can a human be of advantage to God? Can even the wisest benefit him? Does Shaddai gain if you are righteous? Does he profit if you make your ways blameless? Is he rebuking you because you fear him? Is this why he enters into judgment with you? Isn't it because your wickedness is great? Aren't your iniquities endless? For you kept your kinsman's goods as collateral for no reason. You stripped the poorly clothed what clothing they have. You didn't give water to the weary to drink. You withheld food from the hungry. As a wealthy man, an owner of land, and a man of rank who lives on it, you sent widows away empty-handed and left the arms of orphans crushed. No wonder there are snares all around you and sudden terror overwhelms you. Or darkness so that you can't see, and a flood of water that covers you up. Isn't God in the heights of heaven looking down even on the highest stars? Yet you say, what does God know? Can he see through thick darkness to judge? The clouds veil him off so that he can't see. He just wanders around in heaven. Are you going to keep to the old way, the one the wicked have trodden? The one snatched away before their time? Whose foundations a flood swept away? They said to God, Leave us alone. What should I do to us? Yet he himself had filled their homes with good things. But the advice of the wicked is far away from me. The righteous saw this and rejoiced. The innocent laughed them to scorn. Indeed, our substance has not been cut off, but the fire has consumed their wealth. Learn to be at peace with God. In this way, good will come back to you. Please, receive instruction from his mouth and take his words to heart. If you return to Shaddai, you will be built up. If you drive wickedness far from your tents, if you lay your treasure down in the dust and the gold of Ophir among the rocks in the wadis, and let Shaddai be your treasure and your sparkling silver, then Shaddai will be your delight. You will lift up your face to God, you will entreat him, and he will hear you. And you will pay what you have vowed. What you decide to do will succeed, and light will shine on your path. When someone is brought down, you will say, "It was pride, because God saves the humble." He delivers even the unclean, so if your hands are clean, you will be delivered. Then Eob answered, "Today too my complaint is bitter. My hand is weighed down because of my groaning. I wish I knew where I could find him. Then I would go to where he is. I would state my case before him and fill my mouth with arguments. I would know his answering words and grasp what he would tell me. Would he browbeat me with his great power? No, he would pay attention to me. There an upright person could reason with him. Thus I might be forever acquitted by my judge. If I head east, he isn't there. If I head west, I don't detect him. If I turn north, I don't spot him. In the south, he's veiled and I still don't see him. Yet he knows the way I take. When he has tested me, I will come out like gold. My feet have stayed in his footsteps. I keep to his way without turning aside. I don't withdraw from his lips' command. I treasure his words more than my daily food. But he has no equal, so who can charge him? What he desires, he does. He will accomplish what is decreed for me, and he has many plans like this. That is why I am terrified of him. The more I think about it, the more afraid I am. God has undermined my courage. Shaddai frightens me. Yet I am not cut off by the darkness. He has protected me from the deepest gloom. Why are times not kept by Shaddai? Why do those who know him not see his days? There are those who move boundary markers. They carry off flocks and pasture them. They drive away the orphan's donkey as collateral. They seize the widow's ox. They push the needy out of the way. The poor of the land are forced into hiding. Like wild donkeys in the wilderness, they have to go out and scavenge food, hoping that the desert will provide food for their children. They must reap in fields that are not their own and gather late grapes in the vineyards of the wicked. They pass the night without clothing, naked, uncovered in the cold, wet with mountain rain and hugging the rock for lack of shelter. There are those who pluck orphans from the breast and those who take the clothes of the poor in pledge, so that they go about stripped, unclothed. They go hungry as they carry sheaves of grain. Between these men's rows of olives they make oil. Treading the winepress, they suffer thirst. Men are groaning in the city. The mortally wounded are crying for help, yet God finds nothing amiss. There are those who rebel against the light. They don't know its ways or stay in its paths. The murderer rises with the light to kill the poor and needy, while at night he's like a thief. The eye of the adulterer, too, waits for twilight. He thinks, no eye will see me, but to be sure, he covers his face. When it's dark, they break into houses. In the daytime, they stay out of sight. None of them know the light. For to all of them, deep darkness is like morning, for the terrors of deep darkness are familiar to them. May they be scum on the face of the water. May their share of land be cursed. May their share. May they be scum on the surface of the water. May their share of land be cursed. May no one turn on the way of their vineyards. May drought and heat steal away their snow water, and Sheol those who have sinned. May the womb forget them. May worms find them sweet. May they no longer be remembered. Thus may iniquity be snapped like a stick. They devour childless women and give no help to widows. Yet God keeps pulling the mighty along. They get up even when not trusting their own lives. However, even if God lets them rest in safety, his eyes are on their ways. They're exalted for a little while and then they're gone. Brought low, gathered in like all others, shriveled up like ears of grain. And even if it isn't so now, still no one can prove me a liar and show that my words are worthless. Proverbs, or Mishlei 17 and 18. Better a piece of dry bread with calm than a house full of food, but also full of strife. An intelligent slave will rule a shameful son and share the inheritance with the brothers. The crucible tests silver and the furnace tests gold. But the one who tests hearts is Adonai. An evildoer heeds wicked lips. A liar listens to destructive talk. He who mocks the poor insults his maker. He who rejoices at calamity will not go unpunished. Grandchildren are the crown of the aged, while the glory of children is their ancestors. Fine speech is unbecoming to a boor, and even less lying lips to a leader. A bribe works like a charm in the view of him who gives it. Wherever it turns, it succeeds. He who conceals an offense promotes love, but he who harps on it can separate even close friends. A rebuke makes more impression on a person of understanding than 100 blows on a fool. An evil person seeks only rebellion, but a cruel messenger will be sent against him. Rather meet a bear robbed of its cubs than encounter a fool in his folly. Evil will not depart from the house of him who returns evil for good. Starting a fight is like letting water through a dike. Better stop the quarrel before it gets worse. He who justifies the wicked and he who condemns the righteous, both alike are an abomination to Adonai. Why would a fool wish to pay for wisdom when he has no desire to learn? A friend shows his friendship at all times. It is for adversity that such a brother is born. He who gives his hand to guarantee a loan for his neighbor lacks good sense. Those who love quarreling love giving offense. Those who make their gates tall are courting disaster. A crooked-hearted person will find nothing good, and the perverse of speech will end in calamity. He who fathers a fool does so to his own sorrow, and the father of a boor has no joy. A happy heart is good medicine, but low spirits sap one's strength. From under a cloak, a bad man takes a bribe to pervert the court of justice. The discerning person focuses on wisdom there before him, but a fool's eyes wander to the ends of the earth. A son who is a fool means anger for his father and bitterness for the mother who gave him birth. To punish the innocent is not right, likewise to flog noble people for their uprightness. A knowledgeable person controls his tongue. A discerning person controls his temper. Even a fool, if he stays silent, is thought wise. He who keeps his mouth shut can pass for smart. He who separates himself indulges his desires and shows contempt for sound advice of any kind. A fool takes no pleasure in trying to understand. He only wants to express his own opinion. When a wicked person comes, contempt comes too, and with disdain, provocation. The words of a man's mouth are deep water, a gushing torrent, a fountain of wisdom. It is not good to be partial to the guilty and thus deprive the innocent of justice. A fool's words get him into fights, yet his mouth calls out for a beating. A fool's mouth is his ruin, his words are a trap for him. A slanderer's words are tasty morsels. They slide right down into the belly. Whoever's lazy in doing his work is brother to the destroyer. The name of Adonai is a strong tower. A righteous person runs to it and is raised high above danger. The wealth of the rich is his fortified city, like a high wall in his own imagination. Before being ruined, a person's heart is proud. Before being honored, a person must be humble. To answer someone before hearing him out is both stupid and embarrassing. A person's spirit can sustain him when ill, but a crushed spirit, who can bear it? The mind of a person with discernment gets knowledge, and the ear of the wise seeks knowledge. A person's gift clears his way and gives him access to the great. The first to state his case seems right, till the other one comes and cross-examines. Casting lots puts an end to strife and separates powerful disputants. It is harder to win an offended brother than a strong city. Their fights are like the bars of a fortress. A person's belly will be filled with the fruit of his mouth. With what his lips produce, he will be filled. The tongue has power over life and death. Those who indulge it must eat its fruit. He who finds a wife finds a great good. He has won the favor of Adonai. The poor man speaks beseechingly. The rich man's answer is blunt. Some friends pretend to be friends, but a true friend sticks closer than a brother. And as always, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button right there and click the bell if you want notifications. And if you would, hit that like button for me. And I will see you tomorrow. Maranatha.
I know without a doubt you'll carry me out of the storm. I'm standing at the crossroads. I'm lost without a clue. I need a big pink neon sign to show me what to do. I thank you, Lord. It glorifies you when you're the only answer. I praise you, Lord, for holding what's too much for me. And I'm amazed by you, Lord, because nothing's too big and nothing's too small to lay at your feet.